Hello and welcome to Message in a Moment. Today I would like to talk to you about maturity. You can look at me and tell that I'm not a little bitty kid. You can tell I'm not just a young man. Now, I'm young in thought, but I've got nearly 73 years on this body. It's worked real good and I appreciate all that, but I want to talk to you about maturity. Jesus gave a story in Matthew chapter 5. He begins 5, 6, and 7 of Matthew, and it's called the Sermon on the Mount. And in there, he was talking about if you're required to go a mile, go 2. If you're sued and they get your shirt, give them your coat. But then he said, you've heard it said that you're to love your enemies, or you're to love your friends and hate your enemies. But I'm telling you this, love your enemies. Now, the teachings of Jesus are not simple and not easy. Some of those go against the grain, especially love your enemy. That's what. And he said, turn the other cheek when someone comes against you. And then he said this, if you love your friends, what good is that? Love those who don't like you. And then he closed that statement in Matthew 5:48 by saying this, be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect. Now that used to bother me because I thought, I'm not perfect. I struggle with growth and I struggle with questions. And so I did a study on the word perfect. And really what it means is be mature. Grow up. Be mature. Act like an older person would act. Act settled. Loving your enemy, it's a real effort, but it's a perfect way to become mature. Pray for those, Jesus said, that despitefully use you, and you'll be like my Father. You see, we're all wanting to be godlike, but we want to be godlike in the areas that we want to be godlike, don't we? We want to tell God, I want to be just like you in everything except forgiveness. And in everything except loving my enemy. But the Bible says plainly, while we were sinners, while we were enemies of God, He had Christ to die for us. That's love. That's maturity. I trust today that you know Jesus Christ. If you don't, you can. By just right now where you are, saying, Lord, come into my life and help me to become more like you. He will. Until tomorrow, God bless you is my prayer.